So, hi, Richard. I thank you so much for coming here to this podcast offer. And first, I would like to ask you to tell us and our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Oh, Johan, I can't thank you enough. I love the Success and Inner Growth podcast. Well, I'm a fan of your work. Happen to make it on your podcast. My name is Richard Blank. I'm the CEO of Costa Rica's call center. So I was a long shot that hit. Someone that decided to become an expat, move from Philadelphia and go to Central America. And the next thing you know, my stars became aligned. We just celebrated our 16th year in business. So besides my career, I was able to fulfill certain personal goals that I had in regards to languages and exploring the world and marrying the princess of my dreams.
Yeah, this is also good. It's important, by the way. Yeah? Not only business life is important. Yeah. So if you don't have a stable family life, you will rather not have success also. Yeah.
A lot of it, Johan, has to go with how you want to set up your life. If everything is set for you, you know, it's good and you can compete and stuff, but you never really get a chance to show your true tastes. And so when you graduate school and people move on with their lives, it's very interesting to see where people move in the world and the careers that they take. Because as we were growing up, we all did the same classes in school and pretty much looked and acted the same.
Yeah, but people are different. Yeah, and it is also first of all you need, you know, my thinking about life is that soul, everybody, also our soul has a certain purpose, yeah, to take also all the trouble, yeah, to build this body and guide it and from childhood up and for this life, yeah, and this is different for everybody, yeah, because we are coming as a soul, yeah, in a different place, yeah, also where we are, yeah. And the next step and the experience is what we need is different, yeah. And this is something, okay, which is for me, let me say, it was really important to learn that, yeah, that equality, yeah, would take away freedom, yeah, you know. And maybe some people in life, they need some experiences with others would never like, yeah, you know. But if you try to give everybody the same life with the same experience, yeah, nobody will happy, and it's not just and not fair for nobody. Yeah? And
when I think about experiences, it's almost like when the Beatles went to India to find themselves, and people go on walkabouts. People have coming of age moments. They need to shed some skin.
yes.
It really depends, and if you're bold and brave enough to test waters and see what life is out there. But I tell you what, a lot of people do sell out. They would prefer some sort of security compared to adventure. And they just want to make sure that things are planned out. And that's fine. But then don't be surprised if you're not getting the sort of results you're looking for.
But this is also said sometimes, yeah, you know. This is like, look, if you know, there are people who are living their lives, yeah, and work in the hope that after retirement they get a little bit time for themselves. Yeah?
You might not live that long, Johan.
And yes, and this is, look, this is sad, yeah, you know, this is a real sad thing, yeah, because after that they will look back and they will see they wasted it, yeah, and yeah, but nevertheless, it is important that somebody is going his own path, yeah. And but for that it is also important to know your own path, to know what you want to. These things, yeah, you know. Okay, you try and test, and now this is where I come to where is the topic what I would like to talk today, yeah, about. This is something like how to make a plan that flies. And how to make a good plan, yeah. is bringing you where you want to be, and this kind of, yeah, because you need a plan, yeah. I think somebody really needs a plan, yeah, even only to monitor yourself, what you are doing, yeah, to see whether you are veering left or right, yeah. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have orientation, yeah, you don't know what you do. If you try to do something and you try blindly without a plan, if you have success, you don't know why you succeeded because you don't know what you did. If you fail, you don't know why you failed. You cannot even learn from failure because you don't know what you did. Yeah. And this is why I think plan also, even if it sounds boring, yeah, it is important, and it is even giving freedom, yeah, because a plan gives you the freedom to decide, yeah, to decide in advance, do I want to go where, do I go to where, do I go to and where, and to have always the chance to correct the plan, yeah. So this is why I find that important, yeah. So,
Time is so important. And so when I was growing up, I invested some of my time in second languages. So when you see somebody doing an activity or an art or self-improvement above and beyond what's expected you socially, school, or whatever, that's real. And so I knew that this investment, this interest, this passion could make me marketable and give me some distance. The only challenge I had was none of my friends could speak Spanish, so we couldn't chum around and practice it and learn it. And so I had to walk alone on that one. But I was also calculating, once again, if you're the only person that can translate for a doctor or a lawyer or get out of the burning building, you have value that day.
yeah, yeah, this
And
is
when I got my first job post grad and I was selling telecommunications, well, the Latino market's making international phone calls compared to domestic rates. And make a long story short, I was the only one in the office that could speak Spanish. And if you have a niche, and there's really no competition, so I was able to clean house on that one. And then finally, when I moved to Costa Rica, being a guest in this country, by showing good faith, knowing how to conjugate certain verbs in the subjunctive tense, I definitely separated myself from the majority of the tourists, retirees, or business owners that spoke a little bit of Spanish, could get by. But this was my wheelhouse. I wanted to see if I could do something more organic and raw compared to the bells and the whistles with whom I was competing. And so a lot of it is sixth sense, Johan. When you get your butterflies, you know you're doing the right thing.
Yes, yes, this is true, yeah. And this is one thing is that you need to have a connection to your body, yeah, and to your soul, yeah, to even sense these butterflies, yeah, or you have to sense, to feel, yeah, whether it's the right thing for you, what you are doing or not, yeah, you know.
How about this, looking at yourself in the mirror? Are you capable of looking at your own eyes?
Yeah.
Do you make your own bed in the morning to show that sort of complete circle where you're showing self-respect? And it's an excellent beginning of a day and an ending of a day.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have that sort of structure and discipline, how are you going to grow? And so there's no real $1 million cracked code, and everyone's on their own forced march. But if you can get these sort of small wins, Johan, these checkpoints along the way, at least you get that reinforcement that you're not breaking windows, you're not getting in trouble, you're not getting yelled at. For some odd reason, you had a day where people were proud of you and said nice things about you and said, wow, you're growing up there, Johan. Look at you stepping up to the plate. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And so it's nice to experiment and be curious, but that kills cats. And you need to grow out of certain stages where it's not funny or cute anymore. And you have to make a decision. And so a lot of it is at certain pacing and certain stages of life, depending. But I guess I grew up a little bit later in life. I had the Peter Pan thing, where in my late 20s, I wanted one last shot at it. So I came to Costa Rica, and why not? You know, you only get 100 years on this beautiful planet. Might as well
Yeah.
take advantage of them.
And if you want to get 100 years, you have to take care of yourself to get them. This is
It's
also,
true. Yeah.
but yeah, but this is still, let me say, my life is like that. When I was young, I was also doing many things. Yeah, I was good. I came up in a family which was a pastor's family in Germany. Yeah, and but you know, Germany in I was born 1955. Yeah, so I'm 69 now.
Was it near Frankfurt?
No, it was near Stuttgart South. Now
Oh,
I'm staying here, Frankfurt, but this was near Stuttgart. Yeah? And
gotcha.
this was, but Germany at all, you know, 10 years after the Second World War, yeah. You know, there were a lot of things where people didn't talk about, let me say like that, yeah. So many men have been missing, yeah. And you know, we all did that with government, with German government of Hitler. Yeah, it was not so that it was completely unpopular here. Yeah, so the people they did that things. Yeah, they have been fighting that war. Yeah, they have been doing that. Yeah, they have been living their lives there. Yeah, and when afterwards, after 10 years later, yeah, or 15 or 20 years later, yeah. They had to distance themselves from their own past, and they have been distancing themselves also from kind of reality then, yeah. So I said, they taught us in the school, like this was a time where the grass was not green, the grass was blue, yeah. So you understand what I mean with that? Everything was different, yeah. And these people who did that, these were real monsters, yeah. And set yourself next to it and say, and I'm looking like that monster, yeah. No, I was not there. This is not me, yeah. But this has been giving us in our youth an environment, yeah, where it's not so much thing of truth, yeah. And as a child, yeah, you feel that, yeah. You understand? You feel this empty hole in your life. You feel when things are not adding up, yeah. Maybe as you cannot express it, but you feel things are not adding up, yeah.
Well,
And
unfortunately, people that came before you might have not made the best decisions
no,
and
they
action.
didn't.
So, unfortunately, the next generation has to pay that cost.
I didn't think that I paid for that, yeah. So this is not like that, yeah.
But it's,
But
is that
but it is. Let me see. For me, it ended up in a way, yeah, that I decided. When I was 12 years old, I decided I have to find out how I know whether something is true or not. So this is a kind of defining truth, yeah. And when I knew, okay, from hearing it cannot be, I heard so many things which were not true, and also hearing you cannot replicate, yeah.
Mhm.
And so if I see something and I look again, yeah, so I can look, yeah, was it looking like that, yeah? If I read a book, I open it tomorrow again, I see, is it written there like I thought, yeah? But hearing you hear it, yeah, and then it's gone. So I decided in my children's mind, okay, truth must coming from the eyes. This is not really true, but I thought like that, yeah. But when it was for me, I made a passion of truth and finding truth, yeah. But if you are looking deeper, and when I became older over the years and decades, yeah, I had to learn, yeah, that it's not so simple, and there is not really something which is the truth, yeah. Truth is different for different people. Truth has many layers, yeah, and so So this is some kind, if you take it from a spiritual thing, this is kind of my life journey. Yeah? So, but this makes me now also that I like to look at things at layers. Yeah, I like to differentiate it up. I like to, you would say maybe I like to complicate it too much. Yeah. Which is also sometimes true. Yeah. But on the other hand, this kind of thinking gives a lot of insight, and if you do it carefully, yeah, you see many, many things which other people don't see. Yeah? And so, and this is, but to do that and to be good in that, yeah, you need a structure. Yeah, you need a structure. Yeah, and this is again plan. Yeah, you need a structure. You need what you said. Yeah. Have to open a day, you have to close a day, yeah? You have to take breakfast, yeah? You have to calm down before you go to bed and whatever, yeah? But also you need a structure in the things, yeah? You set a goal, yeah? You go to that, you walk consciously and maybe slowly towards it, yeah? And open up to recognize what is happening, yeah? Because even if you are going to a goal, yeah, to a milestone on your journey here, it is not about going there. Or in Germany, we say, der Weg ist das Ziel, you know. You understand that the way is the goal, yeah. This is where, you know, this is where the transformation happens on the way, yeah. And when you come to milestone, or you say in a plan, yeah, you have define your milestones, yeah, but your milestones are in fact challenges. Yeah. You know, what is a milestone? It's a place which is where on your way, and it suddenly comes up and blocks your way and says, you are not coming here through. This is a challenge. Yeah?
It's an excellent point.
What are you doing there? I will start to kick at that challenge, to beat it, to bite it, to scratch it. Or you sit down and say, oh, I love challenges. Challenge, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why are you here?
It's a boring life. You need to be challenged every now and again. So
Yeah, no, it is okay.
better.
We can learn there, yeah, you know, because this challenge is there to teach you something, to show you something, yeah. And if you didn't learn that lesson, yeah, you will not pass. Yeah. After you learn it, it will disappear and you pass. Yeah.
Could I take it by case basis, Johan?
Yeah.
I mean, when there's comparisons, mentors, and opinions, you have to really look at the individual.
Yeah.
Like if I go to a gym and I see somebody that has good definition or proper form, they understand a certain routine, a machine, or exercise better than I do, or someone that's a better golfer, athletics, or painting. You can ask questions about shadowing and certain colors. And so choose carefully with whom you admire and also be very realistic in regards to expectations. But if somebody inspires you and they have a really good vibe and it makes you want to do something that's proactive and makes you feel good, the worst thing ever is someone that won't paint something because they're afraid of what people will say. Well, then paint by yourself in the garage and don't show anybody, but just at least enjoy the expression and the time of putting something on canvas. And so you should never hold your back from something great because of the opinions of others.
Oh, yeah, this you shouldn't, at least. You should really, really not, yeah. Really, really not. Yeah. This is, I have seen that a lot, yeah. But you know, there is, and this is something which you probably also know, yeah. Whatever you do, if you want to step forward, yeah, there will be many people who are trying to hold you back. They must be, yeah, because this has two reasons, yeah. First of all, okay, we fear and whatever, yeah. But second of all, if you step out of a crowd and do something different, yeah, you are challenging that crowd, yeah. You give them, you destroy their excuses, yeah, why they cannot move out by themselves, yeah. You know, and this is with two reasons, and this is something common. Yeah, if you move forward with something, yeah, you will get always resistance, yeah, from your environment, yeah. And this is also not bad, yeah. This is, but you are right, yeah. This is also one of the important things what I learned, yeah. It is so important to choose the right people with whom you are, yeah. You know, to don't allow people to hold you back, yeah, or don't allow people also to exploit you and use you, yeah. Both of it not, yeah. So, but to choose the right people who can help you, who can guide you, who give you orientation, yeah. And these people, okay, they might change, yeah, over time, yeah, where you move from through your stages of your life, yeah, and somebody else moves in another direction, yeah. And this must, it is not that is a bad person because he is doing something different. No, everybody has his right to do what he needs. But it is when also to allow that person to say, okay, let's separate the ways now, yeah. Let's keep a good memory of our good times together, yeah. And if time comes, maybe we meet again, yeah. But when you look for people who can help you, who want to help you, who share your aspirations at least to a certain point, yeah. Because, okay, you have people who have your back, yeah, who help you, who protect you, and you need them also, yeah. But you need also people who challenge you, and so who are telling you, Johannes, what's wrong with you? Why are you not using your potential? Yeah, you know, this is look, I was working as a taxi driver, yeah? And where I had a guest, this was one of his just a famous person here in Frankfurt. It is probably you cannot know him, yeah. You don't know him. He was a publisher from a big newspaper, and he did wear the culture part, yeah. And so, and I told this guy, listen, I think I can draw a line from Martin Luther, you know who is that, yeah? From this reform of the church, yeah, the schism of the third, through Goethe, yeah, Goethe, which is this writer, which is was one of the people who basically founded the modern Germany or modern German culture and nationalism, yeah, to Adolf Hitler, yeah. And when he asked me why, yeah, I told him, okay, Luther, he was, the result of his work was that the government got control over the church, yeah, to decide what is good and what is bad, yeah. Because when this is after this Reformation, how we called it, yeah, the Catholic Church, it was a power in itself, yeah, and nobody could tell them who is the priest where and whatever, yeah. But after this Reformation, yeah, these small little kingpins, yeah, they decided who was pastor in which village and whatever, yeah. So we had very tight control about that, yeah. And when I told him, and when came Goethe, and Goethe, he write a big thing with Faust #2, yeah, in his fist, yeah. And he was saying, one topic of him was, it is possible to do bad things and pact with the devil to achieve good things, yeah. So this was he did a pact with Mephisto, a devil, to build dams and develop the country and whatever, so these things, yeah. So the principle of doing bad things to achieve good things, yeah. And when Adolf Hitler, we put it both together, yeah. This government, it was deciding what is good and what is bad, yeah. And when on top of that, yeah, they did the bad things, yeah, or what they thought is good, yeah. What they thought is good, yeah. Which means to say only with our own people is somehow valuable. Our own people, yeah, we are inside, we are fair. Outside, it doesn't matter. We can kill whom we want, and we killed how many millions of people. And and when I told him that, and he didn't answer, yeah, but he took the newspaper, throw it in my bag, and say, "Here, just look at the job market." I didn't understand what he meant, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, but on the other hand, yeah, I was driving a taxi or not working in corporate Germany, yeah, although I had an MBA. Why? Because I wanted my freedom for my mind. I did not want that anybody can tell me how I have to think. So, which means I was a free thinker. I had the ability to think, and I earned that little money which I really needed, yeah? Not by thinking, but by moving the steering wheel, yeah? You know. And this was also for me a good way, yeah, because this gave me the freedom to think, to research, to do with things which I coming here on success and inner growth, or what I'm doing now also with the L.O.V.E Plan for success and inner growth. Yeah, this is coming from what I built over these years. Yeah, this is yeah, and but to do something like that, you need freedom of mind. Yeah? You need free thinking. You need, you know. When I see the schools here, yeah, it makes me sad, yeah, because there is so much conditioning in it, yeah, so much. Look, in my child, he was in the 4th grade, yeah. They gave him a piece of paper with small calculations, yeah, in math, yeah, also 2 times 2, 4 plus 3, and 4 times things, yeah. And this was a page with 100, yeah. And when they told him, you have 5 minutes, yeah, you fill it, yeah. And when they marked it, yeah, but they marked the wrong answer, yeah, and the empty answer the same. Which means it was just what we have been measuring is speed, yeah, not the quality, yeah, you know. So if you have been writing just what you think, and if you don't really write, you write a guess, yeah, you have been much better, yeah. When you take the time to think through it and write the correct thing, but when you come only through half the paper, yeah. And this is creating a mindset which is damaging. You know, this is because this removes the thinking. You repeat what you have been told. You don't ask questions because it is taking too much time. Yeah, to ask as long as you know it's like that, and you write it there, and you are fine. For that you are rewarded. Yeah, and if you are fast enough, you move on to the next level. Yeah, and so this is bad. This is, in my eyes, is even hindering the development of the children. Yeah, and in the same school, I saw something like they gave during Corona. You know, in Corona times, yeah, they did this homeschooling. Yeah, and this meant between all bad things, there was one good thing. Yeah, that we had parents saw finally what they are doing there in school. So they sent us a paper for the children, a worksheet. Life in the Middle Ages on a farm. And when they put for a girl a day getting up at 8, when measured in minutes what this child is doing throughout the day, yeah? Which is complete nonsense, yeah? because in the Middle Ages in the village, yeah, there was one clock on the church tower, yeah. There was no other. This is complete nonsense. Yeah, they didn't have the times like that. Yeah, they didn't have in summer. Yeah, the children, even in my childhood, yeah, the people in the village, they got up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the mornings. Yeah, obviously in winter, yeah, they was late, and they went also to bed early when it was dark a little bit more. So this was completely different distance from the reality. Yeah? So I went to the teacher and asked him, "What are you doing there?" Yeah? When she told me, "Oh, we just wanted to teach these children how to calculate the time." Then I told him, "Okay, you can teach them that, but can't you look for examples which are fitting instead of just telling children things which are really not true in the school?" Yeah. And this is something what I think is it is so important to keep your capacity to think. Yeah, just if you want to be successful. Yeah, and the real successful people, I told you recently, I've been reading a biography of Jeff Bezos. Yeah, you know. These are all people, or people which I put into that category, who retained their ability to think. Yeah, look, Albert Einstein. Yeah, Albert Einstein. You know who is that? Yeah,
Of course, yes.
yeah. Of course, you know it. Yeah.
I like the Einstein theory. I studied a lot of image streaming. They claim that Einstein was able to crack his best codes when he was outside of the classroom or in those lecture halls when he had time to decompress and think, let his mind wander. So
yeah.
that
Einstein is
that's decompression time.
Not only that, yeah, but he has many. But he was also in the school. He was not good, yeah. And then later he worked as a I don't know how it's called in English, but there are with government offices, yeah, which are measuring the weights for the market, yeah. Also making sure that all these measurements are correct, and nobody is cheating with his weighting or whatever. And this is where he worked, yeah. And when he came to Berlin, and when he has been writing his Relativitätstheory during that time, yeah. So he got this money and this freedom to think from this boring government job, yeah, of measuring the liters and whatever, yeah. And in that time, he was starting to do this Relativitätstheory. I don't know the English word, theory of relativity, yeah. So which was saying there is a maximum speed of light, yeah, and there is a transformation from mass to energy and this kind of things, yeah. And when he came to Berlin, and in Berlin at that time, this was like a group of scientists, yeah, which were assembled there in the, let me say, 1930s, 1920s. Yeah. We were just a small, relatively close group. Yeah, this was Einstein. This was with Otto Hahn, Niels Bohr, Lise Meitner. There were a few other less known names with it. Yeah, Heisenberg belongs to it, and Carl Friedrich and Weizsäcker. And at the edge of that was my grandfather also. Yeah, this is why I know a little bit about it. And this group, yeah, they have been, they attracted them, yeah. And then, but Einstein was also wake up enough, yeah, to know when it is his time to go, when he moved to USA, yeah. Because he was Jewish, of course. and he would not have survived a long time there. Yeah? But he went before it was too bad. Yeah, he had still, and this is what I said before. Yeah, you need in your body. I'd call that body intelligence. Yeah, you need your body is telling you many things which are outside of a map of low. Also, you know what I mean? 1 0 1 0 1 0 computer thinking. Yeah, there is another world also there. And your body, your waves, the energy, your body is resonating with it. Yeah? And this you need also for you. You need it both. Yeah. But this Einstein was an exceptional person. Yeah. So okay, my grandfather. Yeah. He was obviously also different. Yeah. Also he was doing this science. Yeah. And he was good in science. Yeah. He was the one who started to create these eyeglasses, yeah, which have a different. Also you look under here through, yeah, and for looking short, yeah, for reading a paper,
Like
yeah,
bifocals or progressive?
progressive, yeah, progressive, yeah. This was what he was also developing. Yeah, he was in Eastern Germany, yeah, when, and but. So he didn't have this what Einstein has, yeah. So first of all, when I go and when he went to America, he did everything, yeah. Because he has seen what's going on there, yeah. He helped them to build a nuclear weapon, yeah. Afterwards, he also regretted that somehow, not that he helped them, yeah, but how they were used, yeah. And when you have people like yeah, these are exceptional people who say, okay, I keep my openness, yeah, to see what is going on, yeah, I do my thing, yeah. But I think Einstein was never arrogant, for example, yeah. He was never, he was still humble, yeah, even in his old age. I think at least, yeah. If you see what he has been saying for things, yeah, with all this
Johann,
growth
I
of.
liked his crazy hair. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, also, but this is maybe this crazy hair is maybe like a brand, yeah. you know, this was also his brand, yeah.
I did something right.
But when you look at other people, I mean, they are more in this category also, and they had also their mistakes, yeah. Also, or take for example Nelson Mandela, yeah, from South Africa, yeah, who was really 20 years and was in prison, yeah. But he managed to keep his kindness, yeah, and transform his kindness into influence, yeah. You have to think about that, yeah. He kept his kindness in prison, and that allowed him, when the time was coming, yeah, to lead the country, yeah. But when, on the other hand, yeah, here you can also say he was with the wrong people, yeah. You remember this gang, which I mean, okay, which have been building around his wife, his then wife, yeah. It has been really hurting, yeah. So, but he was also an exceptional person, yeah. So there are quite some of them, yeah. But these are all people who stay outside of masses and also of, I think also of the institutions in the end, yeah. Because the institutions, they give you, they let you function, but they need mediocrity. Let me say like that, yeah. Institutions need mediocrity, yeah, because in an institution, even in a corporation or in government, yeah, they cannot allow you to do something which cannot be replicated by somebody else. No, they cannot allow some exceptionalism they cannot allow where, this thing must function also when you are sick, when you are not there, yeah. This gives you another kind of freedom, yeah. To go out at 5 o'clock, yeah, switch your brain off and do something completely different, yeah. But we cannot allow somebody to get with his own ways, yeah. Okay, in some niches, yeah, when we know it, yeah, when it's about creativity or, yeah, I don't know whether you remember that stories that Israelis, they built special units for autistic people, yeah, in their intelligence services, yeah, because they could see things which others could not see, yeah, because this is also something, if you are I learned from Tony Robbins, you know that her name at least, yeah. He was the one, the book, I bought a book for him I think in the 1990s, in the beginning, yeah, when it was coming out in Germany. And there was something like, what I got from this book was the power of the beliefs. Is one way is it's beliefs, yeah, but he is putting it habits of thinking, yeah, with neuro-linguistic programming, he calls it, yeah, but in fact it is a habit of thinking, yeah. Because thoughts are and language, yeah, and the language you use and the thoughts, yeah, this is programming your thoughts, yeah, and when you have some always repeating, you have, like your body has reflexes in moving, yeah, you have also thinking reflexes, yeah. If you do it, I know already wrong, yeah. Fast, you are fast, yeah. You really see 1 and 1 is, I know it already true. Yeah. And where you need that things, yeah, because it's speeding you up, yeah. It is like a cache in the computer, yeah. It makes it much more easy and faster, but it limits also, yeah, it limits also. And what I got from Tony Robbins was that I have to manage that things. I have to manage these reflexive thoughts, which means to have to be aware of it, yeah, and you have to manage them, yeah. And this is something which is really important, yeah, that you manage your mind, yeah, that you manage not only your life, that you manage your mind. I mean, the Jews are also saying that, yeah, first comes an idea, then comes a sentence, and then comes a deed, yeah. And if you a habit in between, yeah, and you have to manage your habits, your thinking habits, your behavior habits. And I think when you come back to success, yeah, this is so important, yeah, because so this is how the circle closes, yeah. Your habits, what you are saying, what you are thinking, how you are reacting, yeah. This decides again with whom you are connecting, yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with maturity, making the tough decisions, being the bigger man, making that phone call and apologizing, or even bringing something to light where it needs to be discussed. My best confidants love me, but they're also willing to call the balls and the strikes and be a straight shooter with me. And so I can't bat 1,000. No one's perfect, and I'll throw 1,000 ideas out there.
No, this is also important that you
people,
have such people, yeah. This is
Yeah,
really
exactly.
important that you have such people, yeah. And I come back to Jeff Bezos, and this book was written, yeah. He employed somebody, yeah, who had to follow him every day and tell him his mistakes. No, just somebody who is there to give him to show him where he's not right, yeah.
Yeah.
And but this is not what I really meant. It meant it is a task for yourself. It is a task of self-awareness, self-development, yeah. To be aware of your habits and to be aware of your thoughts and your thinking patterns, yeah, to manage them. And this will also allow you to connect when you do that right, to connect to higher quality people, yeah, which will also help you to get more resources, yeah, to get access to more resources, yeah, do things better and more things, yeah. And so when you can also go the next round, yeah, this is what I meant with that, yeah. This is, you know, if you have a habit of shouting at people, yeah, everybody who don't want to be shouted at is running away, yeah. It's simple, yeah. If you have a habit of not sleeping enough, yeah, everybody who wants somebody who is awake, yeah, he will run away, yeah. Okay.
Very good points.
And
But you know
so,
what? If I see somebody screaming, you see that they're in a certain state which is raw. You get to see the true emotion. The worst thing ever is to keep wearing masks.
yes.
You don't want to make yourself too vulnerable. But then again, if someone's going to get to know your depth and really get to know you, Johan, they kind of have to see at your best and your worst.
Yes, yeah, this I understand, yeah. But I will not allow somebody to threaten me.
Well, I agree with that. Plus, you're a
And
boxer, right? Don't you know how to
yeah,
get out there,
yes,
Johan?
I will not allow that kind of things, yeah. And you see,
Yeah.
there is also, I mean, if you are getting older, yeah, you are getting from your body more vulnerable, yeah, and this is then becoming more important, yeah. If you are young and you say, okay, well, okay, let's have a fight if you like, yeah, it's good, yeah. But
It's the lowest
uh,
form of rhetoric. You should never use violence. In fact, it's amazing when you're able to outwit somebody with rhetoric or to
yeah,
use their own words against them. Or sometimes silence is golden. I mean, if people are acting up and saying things, why even react? Just stand there and
yeah, and you
observe them.
know, you will not, and I will not in the end, yeah.
Mhm.
If I really decide to let somebody go, yeah, I won't even tell that person that, yeah, because what is my goal then? I want that person is going to forget me, yeah. So I'm not going to start now a big discussion which is creating a long memory and an energetic bond. No, I will say, okay, fine, do what you want. It's nice. I love it for me to see you somewhere else, which is two sentences which I'm not saying but thinking. Yeah. You know what I mean, yeah.
Sure, definitely.
The way how you are, yeah, the energy you radiate, yeah, how you behave, this is deciding with whom you are able to connect, yeah. And you know, people think money, money, and money, and money is. I mean, it used to be gold. Now, today, it is not even gold. It's this number in a special computer in the central bank, yeah. But it is not everything what you have as a person, yeah. Everything in your life, yeah, is coming. The money which you have is coming from somebody else, yeah. The clothes which you wear is coming from somebody else, yeah. Everything, yeah. I think a few things you made yourself, yeah. But you give it to
Johan, what's
others.
your thoughts on the bartering system? I know that money has its value, interchangeable, but back in the
No,
day, if someone changed
no.
things with chickens or their own strong back or just, their intelligence. I always thought the barter was the healthiest form of sales and business relationships.
Yeah, but not really, because you need so many things, yeah, which are coming from so many people, yeah, that you cannot have relationships with all of them, yeah. This is the money, yeah, which is allowing this exchange without relationships. Yeah. And I mean, money is good it is healthy in economics, but it is.
You also have to respect the individual that would be willing to work for food. Even though they're
Yeah,
not making money, this individual is showing some sort of initiative. And if
yeah,
nothing, they're feeding themselves. So it's an exchange of labor to eating. And so
yeah.
I think that's a step up from a beggar, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, yes, it is. Money is a very difficult thing if you really think through it. Yeah, it is. Me, I came to conclude that money is the appreciation you receive from society, and how they value your contribution. Yeah, the society as a whole. Yeah, this is what is the difference between a rich person and a poor person.
Right.
It is not the contribution itself. Yeah, it is appreciation of a contribution. Yeah? And think about these big painters like Van Gogh, or I don't know which one, who today all their images, their pictures, their paintings are in the big museums. Yeah? But they have been almost dying from hunger. Yeah, you know, some of them. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And they were not appreciated. Yeah, and maybe even because they have been seeing things which other people don't see. Because painting is also seeing, yeah. Without seeing, you cannot paint.
That's a very good point. I always enjoy the artists that did 10 paintings. 5 they're being paid for, and 5 they're just doing from their heart, whether it's non-commissioned. And a lot of the times when you see the finished result, I know they're getting paid for it for certain parts, but the ones I think they did with pure passion, it's almost like athletes before they make the pros. Yeah, they're on their trajectory and people are bidding for their attention, but these young kids still don't have that contract yet. They're playing for the heart. And I really enjoy those sort of things when, as I mentioned before, you take certain elements out of it and it's more of the inspiration of the individual. I love certain individual athletics, like let's say boxing for an example, or swimming. And so you might have a team that may assist you on good or bad days, but that lone athlete for that sort of dedication and going to
Yeah.
that certain level, it inspires other people to
Yes,
follow
and
their dreams
yeah,
too.
it is, and it is also, you know, these are also people who are stepping out of the crowd. Yeah, you know, they are
Very.
saying, okay, I am going one step further. Yeah, you know, and I know that I can do more, and I do more. Yeah, and for whatever reason they do it. Yeah, and I think for the real big ones, money is not the only reason. Yeah, I think even if you are following your mission and what your heart is giving you, the money is coming, not millions or billions, yeah, but the money which you really need is coming, yeah, you know. So, you know, I was going through my life not as a rich person, yeah, and I didn't regret that, yeah. But I had always what I needed, yeah. I had always enough to do my next step, yeah. I don't know. My father once told me, I don't really understand. You find always somebody who is helping you, yeah?
There's nothing more sad, Johan, than a millionaire sitting alone in his mansion. Hmm?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they're so jealous of the block parties where some guys like the alcalde or the superstar on the block and everyone loves him, respects him, and carries him on their shoulders. They're willing to trade that any day.
Yeah,
There's nothing also more sad than people that you have to pay to be their friend. And
yeah.
so you want to see if people authentically like you. And so I like when celebrities might be in a certain disguise or they travel to Europe or different places in the world, whereas they say people don't know them. And they just want to sit there on a park bench and just talk to some local guy and have a soda and not be badgered. And I think it makes them real again. They sold not their soul, but it's the price you pay for success, for
Um,
money, for fame.
mm,
And what happens when you get to that stage, you kind of want to capture that essence of what got you in there in the first place. And you get distracted. So, as I mentioned before, distancing yourself
mm,
from your routine, from your yes men, from your bubble, and really putting yourself out there where you literally are waiting in line like everybody else. And, you sit with the people. That's
um,
beautiful.
with
And
people, what I have experienced in my life, yeah, with kind of people, with celebrities, yeah, they really enjoy it if you don't take them as a celebrity, but as just a normal person, yeah, you know. Maybe okay, this is this big name, yeah, and this is that big name. Like here is a famous writer or he is whatever, yeah. But you talk to them just normal as a person who you know forever, yeah, who is you don't know who is that, yeah. This is and we are playing. If you are really an influencer, a celebrity, or whatever, yeah, you are playing a role, yeah. You are um, you are playing a role. You are slipping into that role, yeah. You are playing it and you know it, and this is also good, yeah, because only in this role you can get out your message. And but this is not you, yeah. This role is not defining you. This being famous is not defining you,
no,
or this being a millionaire is not defining you, yeah. Okay, not being a millionaire can define you, yeah. Also, look, it is a huge blessing, yeah, if you can go through the supermarket, yeah, and pack in the things into your shopping cart which you want from there without counting the money, yeah. If you can shop that way, yeah, that you are going into the supermarket and you take what you want, go to the cashier and go home with it, yeah. That does not mean that you have to want everything, yeah, because if you want everything, you cannot eat everything, yeah, and you cannot, and but that is if you have to go to the supermarket and you choose, oh, I had this food which is valuable and good, yeah, but I don't have the money, so I take here a replacement, yeah, which is full of artificial flavors and whatever, yeah. This is bad, yeah. And in this case, if you are in that position, yeah, the lack of money is defining you, yeah. And so money itself, it cannot define you, yeah. But the lack of money and the feeling of lack of money and the feeling of scarcity, yeah. Okay, these coaches are saying, yeah, this can define somebody, yeah. But to be a millionaire is not defining you, yeah. You have still the same body, yeah. You are wearing clothes, yeah. You are not thinking the whole day, oh, I am a millionaire. Yeah? You are thinking what I'm going to do today. Yeah? But if you don't have money, you are thinking the whole day, where can I get that money? That I can pay my rent tomorrow. That I can pay my electricity, that I can get a proper food. And this is like change, yeah. So therefore, a certain amount of money you need to be free, and obviously it helps, yeah, if you have, if you are in a way humble, that you know I don't need everything, yeah, you know. I mean, you don't need 20 pairs of shoes, yeah. If you have 3 or 4, it's enough. For men, maybe a lady needs 2 or 3 more because they need to match the glove of the color of the glove, yeah.
Yeah.
But so these things you don't need, but you need the essentials you need, yeah, and you need, and then there are things which is also important. We have, look here, we have here in the area nowadays, there are many people of India, of Pakistan, of gerade in Frankfurt, in Offenbach, yeah, from the whole world, yeah. So if you are going into their shops, yeah, and buy a basmati rice, a really good quality rice, yeah, in the normal supermarket you won't get them, yeah, and the low quality rice we sell there is costing twice as much, yeah. So also you need also to know what is good, yeah. Also you need for a good life you need knowledge and you need some resources, yeah. I think knowledge you cannot even have enough, but resources you can have enough, yeah.
I agree.
And when I think, yeah, this is where you can guide yourself through the life, yeah. And you know, I am not against people wanting money, and in the meantime, yeah, I say it open, yeah, I want money now, yeah, because I know I need money to, not for myself, yeah, for my clothing or what, yeah. But if I want to bring my message out, like Jeff McCraft says, or something like that, yeah, I need really money for that, yeah. I need to pay for advertisements. I have to find people, maybe to employ them, things like that, yeah. I have to maybe to travel to meet people. For that, this is what changed my mind to say now, it has the time for you to see, to get money, not only for you yourself, yeah, for me myself. That I always got what I need, but for doing things which I want, for that, yeah. And this is also important to understand for money, yeah. There is only a certain amount of money that you can usefully spend on yourself, yeah. So okay, you can have a good house and expensive house, but you can eat only a certain amount, yeah, and you wear only a certain amount of clothes, yeah, and all these kind of things, yeah. I don't have TV, for example, yeah. I never had it, and I'm happy for that, yeah. But so yeah, you have to decide what you need, but in fact, what you really need is not so much, yeah. It is not. It is not. And this is, you get it always, yeah. But if you want now to move things, yeah, you need more, yeah. This is where it comes in as a leverage, as something, yeah. And when you can also get that, yeah, I'm quite sure about that, yeah. So, and this is also the secret of these online businesses, yeah. Here, if you do it right, yeah, you can make money out of knowledge, yeah, you know. If you are producing a good video course and sell it for $2,000, yeah, and you sell 100 of it, you have made $200,000, yeah, which means, so yeah, if you are selling 1,000 of it, you made 2 million, yeah. And you know, it is, a long time in this online space, yeah. Also I have been observing people growing, yeah. And some of them are no longer there, others are there, yeah. You remember, you know, Jeff Walker was the name, yeah. And when he started with his launches, yeah, there was a guy called John Reese, yeah, and he did the first $1 million launch. I think this was 2005, 2006, yeah. And so this showed me at the time what is there possible, yeah. You know Frank Kern, yeah, you know that name probably also, yeah. Who had in Georgia a business of taking care of dogs, or I don't know what he had, yeah. And when he left that and he moved to California, he's today a completely different person, yeah. Or Russell Brunson, yeah, who for him you can see many things if you look at him, yeah. I met him first. I never saw him live, yeah, but I bought from him a $10 tool which he sold as affiliate marketer to add voice on my website. That was the time I had a travel agency, yeah? And I was looking for. I thought, okay, you cannot compete. You cannot compete on price, yeah, and because this margin which I got was so low that I couldn't even give it away. But I was looking for some bonuses which I can give people, and where from that I came to look into this online marketing things and into this PLR things, yeah, where you can get an ebook and whatever and a license to distribute it. Yeah. And where looking for that, I found Russell Brunson first. Yeah. He sold me that when he was, he's always telling that story with that potato gun, yeah. Which was his first product, yeah. What I got from him, it was maybe the third product, yeah. So I must admit, I didn't really always like his energy, yeah, because he's so powerful and forward, and I was not that, yeah. But if you now look what he's doing, yeah, if you see how he's, when sometimes he's doing with children things, yeah, inviting children into his business to show them that and so, yeah, and trying to motivate them to do something with their life, yeah. And if you see that, yeah, you see something inside what is driving him, yeah. This is why I like him, yeah. And so, but these are, I just wanted to say, I saw these people grow, yeah. I saw how that guy is now a multimillionaire and celebrity, but I saw him when he was living in the basement of his parents, yeah, selling things for €5 or $10, yeah, and was really struggling and didn't know how to do it. Yeah. And this is showing me it is possible, yeah. It is really, really possible, yeah. If you want, if you decide to do it, you can do it, yeah. And so this is no question, yeah. But when comes the next thing, yeah, why cannot everybody do it? And why is not everybody doing it, yeah? And this is, first of all, what I said in the beginning, yeah. Everybody has his own purpose for his own life, yeah. And not everybody's purpose is to build a big business and to be inspiration for everybody else, yeah. Maybe some people are the 10th time on this world and some people the first time, yeah. Some have a responsibility to lead and inspire, and some are just here to experience the sun. So yeah, you have to respect all of it, yeah. And secondly, it is of course the fear, yeah, you know, the fear of success, or that you underappreciate yourself, yeah, that you think Marisa Peer is for you somebody, and you know that name also. This is a hypnotherapist, yeah, who is big in also teaching people there, and she is one of the people I found through Mind Valley. Yeah? Mind Valley is such a community with personal growth people, yeah? And she has a thing to say, people, you have to hang in the morning on top of your mirror, I am worth it, I am enough, you know, because if you don't appreciate yourself, yeah, other people cannot appreciate you. And so this is where it starts, yeah. But the tragedy is, yeah, that with self-appreciation, every child has his self-appreciation in the first few years, yeah. But when this is destroyed, yeah, you know, in the families, in the schools, in the kindergartens, yeah, where they destroy that self-appreciation, that self-love, that and this, and if you don't have that, yeah, you will not succeed in nothing, yeah. You will, first of all, you will think I cannot. Second, you will think I'm not worth it. I didn't earn it. I don't deserve it. Yeah, I am so bad. I deserve only a life serving others and doing their things. Yeah? And you have to break that. Yeah, you have to break that. Yeah, because now let me say the next thing. Yeah, now you think I don't deserve it. I cannot. I'm so poor and bad when you take a job. Like, for example, in the customer service business, yeah, where you get sometimes things that you have really, if you are working for a bad company, putting their customers down, yeah, misleading them, or in a sales business, yeah, somebody is telling you sell that to, knowing very well. When you do that, yeah, and when you lose more respect for yourself, yeah, because you are mistreating people, yeah, you are not treating them well, yeah, and you think again, I don't deserve another life, yeah, because now you're adapted to that undeservable life, yeah, you know, and this is what people have to break, yeah. This is, and we have to break out of that cycle, yeah, to grow, yeah. And I don't say everybody has to be rich, no, and but I say everybody is normally rich, yeah. So if you are living your own life, you get what you need for your own life. This is even a religious thing, which I
Maybe choose to live in places that aren't as expensive.
hmm?
You know? I mean, Manhattan and Malibu are extremely expensive.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but you don't need to be there, yeah, maybe, or if
yeah,
you need to be there, you get it also. You find a way.
I don't like $20 hamburgers, no matter how good it is.
Yeah, this is yeah. No, but this is not really what I meant. Yeah, you don't need that, yeah.
Of
And
course, yeah.
look, I tell you another example. Let me say somebody is flying first class from Frankfurt to Florida and back, yeah. He's paying for that. I had a conversation with somebody about that, yeah. He's paying for that one way 5,000 euro or dollar, whatever it is. Now, why he is doing that? Yeah, he didn't tell me that, but I know it anyway, yeah. Not because the seats are a little bit more soft in the first class, yeah, but because they want to keep their distance from people, yeah. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be bothered, yeah. They are just fed up with all that things, and they say, okay, I want that. I want my privacy even when flying, yeah. So this is why we are doing that, yeah. I can accept that, yeah. Now comes, and if he has that $10,000, why not? He can do that. I have nothing against it. Yeah. Now comes the next, this guy, he told me, but now I have a problem because I gave back my tax return and I put that trip into as business expense because I was traveling for a business event there, and so forth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy at the tax office or in the IRS, but this was in Germany, yeah, he didn't want to recognize that as business expense. Yeah? You can understand that why? This guy, he's working here on his desk. Yeah, he's getting maybe every month 3,000 or 4,000. Yeah, if he's well paid, 5,000, but a lot is taken back by the government. Yeah, with tax and whatever. Yeah. At least he is working a whole month, yeah, and get a third of that money, which this guy is now spending in 2 days to fly back from Frankfurt to Florida, yeah, where he knows that guy by himself. Sometimes he wants to fly to Florida, yeah, and he finds a flight ticket for 500 euro, yeah, or 1,000 going in for, yeah. He say, okay, cannot accept that this guy is spending 9,000 euro for that flight. I don't understand that he is just spending it not to see people like that guy. But and he is really making him a lot of trouble for that, yeah, you know. And this is what people don't understand, yeah. Also rich does not mean lustrous, yeah, which means not you don't show off, yeah. You know what is good, you take what is good, yeah. But you don't hang. A billionaire is not walking through the streets with a sign of it. Hey, I'm a billionaire. Please look at me. Yeah, you know he won't do that. Yeah?
Right.
And he wouldn't survive it anyway. This is the sad. Yeah, the sad thing is he wouldn't survive it. Yeah? Okay. So okay, we have been a little bit talking something different than I wanted or thought. Yeah, but I found this was nice.
I think you definitely made your point on how to live a better life for success and inner growth. A lot of it has to do with people's own forced march. And as you say,
Yeah,
have a plan. So now you made some excellent points today, Johan.
yeah. Thank you. I've I think I didn't cut you off to say what is on your mind.
Oh, no, no, you were great. I was fascinated with where you were going. I mean, this is your show and I'm a guest. So I might
Yeah,
as well
but a very welcome guest.
have the Johan experience, and I definitely got it in abundance.
And I really appreciate your time. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
very happy for having you. Yeah. And okay, I think now it's time to close it. Yeah. And I will send you a recording. Yeah.
I had a great time today, Johan. Seriously, you're a great interviewer. You're a nice guy, and you really think positive in life, and that's a nice thing.
Yeah, I thank you. Yeah. So see you. Yeah. I thank you so much. Maybe we can do something again later. Yeah.
Of course, let me practice my German. Dankeschön, ihr Wiedersehen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can I say now? Hasta luego. Muchas
That's right.
gracias. Okay.
Look how
Have a
cool
good
you are,
time.
Johan. What an accent. You sounded native. Yeah. Have a good day, my friend. I really did enjoy myself.
Thank you. I enjoyed it also with you. Really, it was also inspiring for me. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool,
Have a
man.
good day.